Hey everybody, Tim Miller from the Bulwark here. Donald Trump, the president, was flanked by several people who seem like they're using PEDs to discuss the reestablishment of the presidential fitness test and the Sport Council, which is going to be doing a lot of things, including making sure that young, poor black athletes have some limits on what they can be paid because capitalism is so great. I brought in our unofficial sports correspondent of this YouTube page, Pablo Torre, who is on a fucking heater over at Pablo Torre Finds Out, which you absolutely have to be subscribing to. He got somebody fired recently. He's dominating debates in the podcasting space. There's a lot happening with you, Pablo.
Two people got, they resigned. They graciously resigned, not in disgrace at the NFLPA. But I digress, Tim. This video, I'm so mad. I am laughing, but also like actually mad, which is a rare combination.
Which part are you mad about? Because I'm trying to decide which clip that we'll play first. And the thing that I'm the most mad about, because I have a long time passion for college athlete pay. It's been like when me and Jeb one time got into a fight on a plane, and I was like, we got to find a couple of issues we disagree on. And it was permanent daylight savings time, college athlete pay. I'm forgetting what the third one was right now. And we had a heated...
exclamation points.
Yeah, we had a heated fight over a couple scotches about college athlete pay. So I'm a long-time passion project for me. But if you have a different part of the clip you want to focus on first, we can do that.
There's a lot here, but I just want to focus just on like who is there.
Yeah, let's do that first.
I mean, Tim.
You've got RFK Jr., all natural there in his body. I don't know if you've seen that physique, but there's definitely, it's very maha. No beef tallows going in there. Only beef tallow, rather. No HGH. Definitely not.
I know how the sausage is made. It's more sausage. Lawrence Taylor, who is literally, at one point, an actual registered sex offender. New York Giants great, is up there.
It's important to bring in, when you're dealing with a scandal that's embroiling your administration about how you are covering up your involvement in a sex offender, it's important to bring a registered sex offender to the White House to kind of distract from
That's right. It's kind of like how you need a bank robber to know how to prevent further bank robberies.
Yeah. And so to catch me if you can type situation.
Absolutely. He's a white hat sex offender, allegedly.
Got it.
As it were. And by the way, Triple H is there. This is what I'm mad at. Like, I live in sports. I feel like the kid in high school who's like, he doesn't even go here. Like, what? Triple H isn't sports. What are we doing? He's not actor. Sports. He's a guy portraying not even a sports figure. He's portraying a professional entertainer. Tim, I'm watching the Suicide Squad assemble of just like sports adjacent characters, and it's sad. It's a sad scene.
Well, you have to also mention Harrison Butker, who is definitely not gay and a really good kicker. Like a really good kicker. He's very well groomed and a good kicker, which is kind of sports, being a kicker.
That's just good old fashioned Catholicism. Tim, didn't you see his graduation speech? That is just what it's like to love the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a really good kicker, though. We do have to give him credit for that. Much better than me.
Very good.
He'd do really good on game day in the kicking challenge. Okay, who else was that? Was there anybody else?
No. Bryson DeChambeau, who is
Bryson.
He's there. He's a noted golf meathead who may or may not have been playing footsie with Saudi Arabia at one point. But who's counting? Okay. Who's counting at this point?
Yeah, so that's I do think it's interesting. Well, I guess since we've already started here, I will save the NIL talk for the very end. I want to play one clip first, just about how this assembled crew having to respond to a question about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
A busy week between this executive order, trade Russia, Gaza, but also the family of Virginia Giuffre released a statement overnight in response to some of the comments that you made this week. You said that Jeffrey Epstein stole people from Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I didn't know. I mean, I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it, and we threw him out. We said we don't want him, at the place. This is a story that's been known for many years, as you know. But it's I didn't like it that he was doing that. Yeah. Please.
And so there you go. So Trump is up there.
Well done.
He's got LT with him. It's like RFK is there. And he's like, gotta answer this question from ABC about like whether he knew what Jeffrey Epstein was doing when he was abducting these young women, young girls in this case, from his club, and then sex trafficking them. And Trump, once again, is very upset at ABC. Is obviously the person acting there, but it's pretty amusing to watch Triple H embroiled kind of tangentially in a sex scandal through the WWE. You got LT there. You got RFK, who had some questionable issues in his past.
It's a real porous offensive line he's assembled to block him from conversation about the things they've all allegedly tangentially been involved in.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was your most newsworthy exchange. And then, because this is your favorite topic, you had him discussing the Miami Dolphins QB1. Let's listen to that.
He was on the council, and Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback, who is really he's been fantastic. He's been when he's not injured, he's great. He's got to stay healthy. But he's a great guy.
So look, I want to acknowledge, it's a very hard name to spell. That is missing. It's your.
Could you pronounce it for our audience?
Tua Tagovailoa is how you should. Tua Tagovailoa is also acceptable. Tua Tagovailoa, whatever. Get in the continental sort of just zone of the name.
Or just Tua him. Just give him a Beyonce. Just Tua him.
Be a guy who's ever watched football before, I think, would be the standard that he has missed by about 100 yards.
Yeah. And a couple decades, I think. And LT, I think that he probably could speak with maybe a little bit of knowledge about the 1980s Giants, maybe not. But clearly,
it was a real loosey-goosey time.
No ball. He doesn't know any ball when it comes to this year. Okay. Now for the actual subject matter at hand. So this group that he's put together, we're going to do the fitness competition again. That seems fine to me. I don't even know. Actually, I'm going to go see the Pod Save Bros tomorrow because I'm going to be out in LA, and I'm going to give them some shit about this. I don't know why Obama got rid of the national fitness thing. Was that a woke thing? I don't know. Who knows? We should have kept it.
I agree.
That's fine.
I agree. Yeah, I believe in trophy culture as a person from the world of sports. Yeah, let's feel bad that we can't do all of the pull-ups. That's part of growing up.
It is.
That's
Trophy
part
culture
of
is great.
Up.
Speaking of which, shout out to my daughter and her cousin who got the gold medal in the 8-9 year class at the Nuggets, Denver Nuggets basketball camp this week.
Oh, wow.
The other team won the championship. Notably, my daughter's 7. So,
do they teach the kids to care as little about winning a trophy as they do Nikola Jokic? Is that the whole point? The little kids and Jokic just want to play with horses, actually.
Yeah, the trophy culture was very strong here. They were very proud of their medals they were much happier with their championship victory at this camp than Nikola Jokic was about the 2023 championship.
It sounds like
at least visibly on his face.
It does sound like it.
Anyway, okay. So we agree with that. It's nice to find an area of agreement where we can.
Totally.
Here's the other part of this little motley crew, which included I guess LT, but no other really football people.
We were promised Nick Saban at one point. Remember that?
Yeah, people with familiarity with what's happening in college football and college sports today. And Trump goes on this rant, which we'll play right now.
Great athletes have asked to join the council, and we're going to let some of them come in. But they're going to also be working on college football in terms of what happened. It's a mess. What happened? It's what they're doing with college football, and the fans are upset about it, and players are being taken from team after team, and they're being traded around like playing cards, and a lot of money's passing, and nobody knows what's happening. So these people behind me are going to be very much involved in figuring that whole thing out and working on it and trying to bring some sanity to that incredible, not only the football, college sports, very, very bad for women. It's very bad what's happening because now all of a sudden there's no women that are able to get the money that they're talking about. It seems to be going mostly to football, some basketball, and women's sports are being totally decimated. We know that, Annika, with this. It's all going into football and some to basketball, and everything else is being left behind. And women are being left behind, and lesser sports are being left behind, and the Olympics is being decimated because that was like training for the Olympics. And now we're not going to have that many of those sports left. The smaller sports, they're almost going to be completely wiped out. This is crazy what's going on. We banned men from competing in women's sports, and last week the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee announced that they will be complying with that order.
He's mad that he thinks players are getting traded against their will, I think, which I think he misunderstands the program. What's really happening now, which I understand there's some annoyance to, which is now that these young men in football, and by the way, also he goes on to kind of rant about how this is hurting young women, which is totally not true. That like women's gymnastics, women's basketball players in college are like making a ton of money right now, actually, and good on them as those sports are becoming more popular and others. But anyway, these young athletes, mostly coming from poor backgrounds, not all, but a lot of them, working class backgrounds, now have a chance to actually get some of the profits that these sports have been making. And as part of that, one of the other rules is they can choose to change teams, right? If they're on LSU and they're not playing or they're not getting a good NIL deal and Nebraska comes in and it's like, hey, you'd be our QB1 here at Nebraska. You're the backup at LSU. We'll give you $1 million. The local car dealer will, or whatever. You can choose to leave. It's not like LSU's trading them to Nebraska. It's the student that's able to make this choice for themselves. It's a pure capitalist system. There may be some rules we could put around it. I'm open to talk about that. But I do think it is interesting that the crowd that is like, we are the meritocracy, we are for capitalism, has looked at sports and they're like, the one thing that this council is going to change is to make sure that 19-year-olds cannot get paid for their services to the universities. Okay, rant over, Pablo. What do you think about
this? Is so much more socialist than anything Zoran is proposing. It is. It's just like you had for the first time the sort of primordial ooze of a free market. By the way, ruled 9-0. In front of your own Supreme Court. Brett Kavanaugh sounding like, I guess in this context, the wokest lib you've ever met, talking about how it's absurd to not let these professional adults realize the value of their labor in the most obvious and just like objective sense. And so here's where I think this happened, right? So I believe that lots of people in college sports rightfully are like, this is way too messy. There are no real rules. It's the wild, wild west. It's all of that. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong. There is no real way to regulate this. The NCAA is basically an absentee institution that's, I think, participating in this whole circus, this charade, because they want an antitrust exemption. That's the Hail Mary to protect their ability to regulate a thing that is obviously in violation of various standards of would-be collective bargaining, except they're not employees and therefore cannot unionize. This bit of a whole issue with the definitions of like, are these people even employees in a legal sense? But Tim, the whole thing here is, you may agree that this is messy. You may agree that football and basketball and the revenue generating sports will, because of the market, make more money than the non-revenue generating Olympic sports. And they are right to be worried in a total free market in which none of this really has any precedent or regulation. What he is proposing, though, I want to be clear about this, is not real. Like, is this an executive order saying you got to do this? Everybody I talk to in college sports is what they are saying is this anything? Is this anything, actually? Like, there have been Supreme Court cases, there have been settlements, there have been plenty of things that have happened through the court system. This seems fake. And so, because
it is fake.
It's like, what do you do with this? With Tim, what's more notarized than having Triple H there?
Yeah, right.
Counterpoint.
And it's also like, if some of the people start following the rules, well, then so the other schools will be like, no, we're not going to follow the rules. You think that you think that the SEC schools are going to be like, we're going to follow these new fake rules? They're like, no, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. You can sue us, and we'll go see you in court. We'll beat you in court again, right? Like, the whole thing is ridiculous. And the things that they're proposing, like, we're going to cap. Again, it's socialism. Like, we want to make sure that there are limits on the amount of money that they can create, et cetera, et cetera. And it'd be one thing if it's like, look, we should treat them like regular employees. There should be collective bargaining. They should have a contract. There should be it's like anything else, right? It's like if you sign a contract with LSU for 3 years, you can't then say, oh, I'm going to go to Nebraska. Right? Like, there's certain things that are within a normal economic system. That's not even what they're trying to do, though. They're just trying to be like the old man that's like, we should go back to the days where these guys got paid nothing, and it's a student athlete.
They were so close to inventing contracts as a concept.
Right.
Truly. It was like, it's the scene in The Simpsons where Homer's brain is like, money, explain. Money can be exchanged for goods and services. It's like, they're so close to understanding the basic unit of what capitalism is. And you need contracts. And that would help both sides, by the way. Ensure salary, but also ensure the need to stay, to abide by said contract at your team instead of entering the transfer portal, which is truly a chaotic thing that can basically resemble eternal free agency. That's very frustrating to Nick Saban.
Sure.
But man, like, this is sort of like you have heard a complaint by Tommy Tuberville at a golf course, and you're like, I got it. And then you showed up and it was this. Yeah. And now here we are.
Pablo, thank you for being our unofficial sport correspondent. Everybody go support Pablo. Go listen to his stuff, not because he's my pal or because you should or whatever, because it's fucking great. His stuff is great. Go follow him on YouTube or on your podcast app of choice. And we'll be talking to you soon, bro.
I have a feeling we will be talking about this way too soon, actually.
All right. That's sad.